Yo, what's good, 2K fans? This your boy JuKIng the Boss, and tomorrow's going to be a pretty big day from what we hear so far. 2K is planning a big reveal of some sort. Now, all the community is already believing that it's the reveal of the regular edition cover star. Giannis Antetokounmpo is what everybody's expecting that reveal will be based on leaked information. Now, there's quite a few things to talk about, though, so I want you to pay a lot of close attention for this one. Now, first thing we're going to talk about is that if they plan on revealing the cover star tomorrow, which is what everybody's thinking, the one thing I expect to also come with that is there are two things. One, I believe that if they're going to reveal the cover star, we're going to get a cinematic trailer based on some in-engine footage, first and foremost. Two, I also believe that we should get a confirmation of whether or not the game itself, the regular edition of the game, can you pre-order it and play early. Now, if they choose not to go that route, it'll already be one of those things where you look at it and say, that's not good. It wouldn't be good at all, because 2K18 was met with a lot of backlash based on the way they did things, the way they executed, and they can't afford to do that, especially because NBA Live is doing some really decent things, attempting to improve the product over time. Now, if you bought NBA Live last year, so if you bought 18, you most likely got an email saying that you can get 33% off of this year's version. Now, for Xbox players, that's a really nice little bump right there, because at the end of the day, if you have EA access, you're already, instead of paying $59, you're paying $53 or $54. So instead of paying $60, you're paying $54. And then to top it all off, instead of having to pay $54, you'll get an additional 33% off. So I'm hoping that 33% first comes from the either they add it all together, or I'm hoping that 33% first comes from the $60 price point and then take the additional 10% off for EA Access members. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to check it out and let you all know later on today. Now, as far as what else can we expect? So we should expect a trailer, cover athlete reveal. And believe it or not, seeing as NBA Live has already put all their information out there as to what we can expect from the new Live, they need to kind of jump on it when it comes down to dropping gameplay information. Not spend time telling us about the soundtrack of 2K. Nobody cares at the end of the day. It's all about what can we expect. You got to throw out a feature that's going to make people say, all right, bet, I'm in. Let's get it. I'm looking for more information. Because we as fans of 2K, we as fans of basketball games, we're going to follow all the basketball games. So Live, even if you don't buy Live, you're going to see what Live is bringing to the table. 2K, even if you're upset with the way 2K did things this year, you're going to invest in 2K. So when it boils down to it, there's a lot to go over. There's a lot of things to pick at, but I expect some good information to come out of 2K's camp tomorrow, Monday at 12 noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific. Now, before we get into the next topic of our discussion, for those of you who actually are interested in trying to be QA testers or game testers for Take-Two, I'm gonna leave a link in the description below, because I was actually playing around when I was looking on their website at their jobs, and they actually have job posting for QA tester. Now, that's not to say that you'll be testing NBA 2K and everything like that, but you got a chance to test numerous 2K products, and NBA 2K could be one of them. Now, like myself, for those of us who believe that we know how to build a better 2K, we know what 2K needs, take a shot and see if you can get a seat at that table, testing that game and giving honest feedback. The best thing about being a tester is that, because I actually do video game testing. Now, the best thing about it is that you get to give an opinion from a technical aspect, playing the game, and let them know some bugs, some minor problems, some major problems that you came across when testing the game. and at the same time you get to do it from a consumer perspective. So the best thing about testing video games, if you look at it from both perspectives, both the technical and the consumer perspective and everything like that, you can really give them information on what you feel is going to work, what you feel is not going to work, or what you feel just needs some tweaking and how it needs some tweaking. You can give honest feedback. Now, it's not to say that you'll get it on the ground floor like that, but like I said, I'll leave a link below where you can actually apply if you really, really believe that you know what 2K need. Now, on to the second discussion. Now, there was an article that was posted last week, a few days ago, that one of the heads at what I believe the CEO of Take-Two, he had a sit down interview and he talked about how Take-Two is kind of the fault for why NBA 2K was such a mess when it came down to 18. And that was good. Like, I had been pointing that finger at them for, I'd say, at least the last couple of months, because at the end of the day, the developers develop the title, but the publishers are the ones who foot the bill. So they get to kind of ultimately decide how things are going to play out and what gets done, where it gets done, and where the investments are really going to go. So if you're putting the money up for a game, you want your return on investment to be big. So if I put $1 million up on a game, I want a $2 million profit. You know, that's what I want to see come back guaranteed. Now, that's just a wild number. But at the end of the day, you will love to double your profits that you invest in. So it's good to see Take-Two is kind of finally looking at themselves as a reason why the game ultimately didn't do as well as it could have. And at the end of the day, hopefully the things that they were mentioning in the interview about looking at what makes their product so good and just going to the core of designing a great product and letting the monetization work itself out and ultimately bring the money in based on it being a good product. So I'm looking forward to hoping that they're going to stick along that lines and they're going to take that route and they're going to push that envelope that way. Because at the end of the day, we want a successful product. At the end of the day, we want a good product. And hopefully we are getting, long-term content creation. Hopefully we're getting a long-term outlook on the game itself. Now, as far as what's been going on, I've been enjoying the park. Like, at the end of the day, there's a couple of things that I also have to mention to the community. That one of the biggest issues, my personal big issue with the community itself is that there's some great people in the community, whether you're a creator or whether you're just a cat who goes to the park or goes to Pro-Am. And I've met some great people playing the game. But one of the biggest issues that I feel comes from the game itself is that we don't communicate with each other as much as we should, as much as we could. Now, what I mean by that is very simple. Every time I go to the park, I have my headset in. And when I go there and I got my headset in and somebody else has their headset in, we're communicating and we get some good bump. The footage that you're seeing being played here is actually part of an hour and 45-minute recording session where I met two random cats. One of them, his mic was plugged in from the jump. The other one, he didn't plug his mic in until later on. But we literally got some good bump going. We had a whole lot of fun. And it was a really, really good experience going to the park. And going forward, this is what I got to tell you. It doesn't matter what your overall is. As long as you know how to play with your build, as long as you know what you're doing, you're not trying to overstep, you're not trying to do too much, you're moving the ball around with your team, you can find good people to play with. These two cats I joined up with randomly, we just all hopped on the spots. We joined up and all of a sudden we started clicking. Proper defensive rotations, proper ball movement. We had made some mistakes, and before our streak got started, we made a few poor choice decisions. But once we realized, on defense we're rotating good, but sometimes we'll get beat, and we just had to figure out what everybody's strengths and weaknesses really were. We went out there and we had fun. We crushed it and enjoyed every win we got. And then we had a couple of cats even hit us up with messages saying, man, said y'all was playing good defense and I had to play with some scrub bums. And I look at it and say like this: It doesn't take a genius. It doesn't take an extremely talented gamer to pick up 2K and be decent. All you got to do is go out there with the goal of having some fun and enjoying yourself. So, you know, throughout the summer, man, get back into 2K18. Even if you think the game has failed, if you got it, man, get in there, make you some friends going into 2K19. So that way you're ready to go, man. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. Peace.